Welcome to the I Can Do Show. I created this program to help those who have permanent injuries, disabilities, chronic pain, or just really any issue that's limiting them from experiencing the full quality of life that they used to or that they want to have. I hope you find the material that I teach in this show helpful, useful for helping you to recapture the quality of life that you had, and to empower you to have the control to live the life you want to live. Thank you for tuning in to episode 8 of the I Can Do Show. Today's metaphor is going to focus on cognitive diffusion. Helping me demonstrate the exercises in this episode will be Bob, my special guest. And let's get started with a great workout. For any of the open-handed or empty-handed techniques that we're going to learn throughout the show, what we're going to do is we're going to take the cane, we're going to either put it in our pocket, in our waistband, or if we're wearing a belt, we're going to hook it in the belt. The reason we do this is because if you're on the street and you're needing both hands to get into your car or whatever, and something happens, if you have your cane leaning up, say, against the car, and you fumble for it in an emergency because someone startled you, well, it's possibly going to hit the ground, and then you've got no cane. But if you have it in your pocket and something happens, you can get it out quickly. The exercise we're going to do now is one of my favorite exercises. It's the twist. All right? And what Bob is going to do is he's going to swing his arms back and forth using his legs and his hips to move them. All right? Now you notice, as he's doing it, his heel is coming up off the ground. His hip is turning all the way through. His shoulders are relaxed and they're along for the ride. Now this is a great exercise because it warms up the spine, yet at the same time it doesn't add any torque to the low back. Additionally, from a martial arts perspective, this is starting to train to use the legs and the hips to generate power while keeping the arms and the shoulders relaxed. Now while he's doing this, he's breathing nice, slow, deep breaths, keeping his body and his mind relaxed. Okay, do a couple more. And then that's good. Now we're going to warm up the wrists. Go ahead and hook your cane in your belt loop or your pocket. Put your hand out. Overlap your fingers. Bend the wrist forward and then straighten out the arm. All right. Now, as Bob demonstrates this, let me talk to you a few points. Right now, this is working this section of the arm. Now, he's breathing nice and relaxed. He's going to now bend the arm at the elbow, bringing it up. It changes the focus to the middle of the forearm and still on the wrist. Again, you want to be relaxed. Be gentle when doing these stretches with the wrist. Our wrists are not used to this. It takes building up. From here, he's going to turn his fingers towards his shoulder. He's going to rotate it around. And he's going to stretch. Now it's focusing on this section of the wrist. He's going to hold that for a little bit. From here, he's now going to release, bend the wrist forward, and he's going to press down and straighten the arm. This is now focusing on the back part of the forearm. This is especially important if you have tennis elbow. Now here he's going to bend the elbow, bringing the wrist up towards the shoulder. Relaxing here. Again, it's sort of focalizing in here. Now he's going to change wrists and start over on this side. Again, focusing on keeping our wrist warm, keeping it stretched, keeping it healthy. This can also help with carpal tunnel. Okay? Now remember, if any thoughts come up during the exercises, you're going to put them in a jar, put them on the shelf to come back to later. And you're going to stay focused on that which is in front of you right now. Doing your exercises, sticking to your goals. All right? And then he's going to bend his elbow, bring his wrist up. And now he's going to gently release. Shake out his wrists. When doing any stretch, especially that which involves the wrist, always release gently. This next exercise is to warm up the wrist. It's the single-handed cane rotation. You're going to grab in a mid-shaft grip, close the fingers, and then you're going to turn palm up, palm down. And so you notice here that he's going to support his arm, and his palm, he doesn't over-rotate. It's just palm up, palm down right now. We're just beginning to warm the wrist up. And so what that means is we don't want to overdo it because you can injure yourself. And then after at least 20 times, you're going to move the hand back behind the elbow. You're going to relax these 3 fingers. You're going to hold the cane with the ring, as we've mentioned in past episodes. And you're going to go a little bit further than you did before, but we're still working on warming it up. So we're not going all the way yet. Okay? While you're doing this, you do want to make sure that your breathing is relaxed. If we start going tense and shallow in our breath, then we're going to cause the muscles in the arms to tighten and tense, and the shoulders and all that, which then increases the risk of possible injury within the arm. And so now he's going to go back, put his hand on the shoulder, and he's going to go full range of motion. All right? Those 3 fingers are relaxed, and it's just the ring of power that is kind of helping him hold the cane. Now, remember that ring is very important. So now he's going to go ahead and switch hands. Okay? And he's going to start at the very beginning. Right. Now, while he's doing that, let me remind you that the ring of power, and I know it's the name that I kind of came up for, it's what makes it so that later on in some of the techniques, you can use your fingers to get a nice snap, a nice crisp energy in your actions. Now he's going to go back behind the elbow, go in further in the range of motion. And now he's going to go back to the shoulder. Okay. Now, it is important to note that your range of motion may be different. Each person's range, each arm could have a different range of motion. That's okay. Honor where you're at today. Incremental progression will see you reach your goals. Okay? And let's not judge ourselves based upon what we see others are capable of. Let us just do the work each day to reach our goals. And now he's going to relax, shake it out, and get ready for the next exercise. It's now time to really warm up the shoulders. So here's what we're going to do. Grab your cane at either end, and we're going to turn like we're turning a wheel. Okay? Your ultimate goal is to reach the point where you can touch your elbows together. If you can't right now, that's okay. Honor where you're at. Now Bob is going to demonstrate while I do some more talking. All right? So part of what's happening here is he's stretching his trapezius, the muscles in the back. All right? Those are the muscles that we tend to kind of feel our tension in. Now, as he's doing this, when he's breathing while his arms are crossed, he's imagining he's actually expanding in the rib cage in the back instead of in the chest. A lot of times when you try and take a deep breath, you expand the chest, but not the back. But by using your mind to visualize your back and breathing into your back, as they say in yoga, what actually ends up happening is you get these muscles to relax, expand more, and you find that you're able to get a deeper, more comfortable breath. Okay, he's going to do it a couple more times, and then he's going to relax, release the cane slowly with one hand, and shake it out. Now we're going to stretch the quadricep, the quad, which is the front of our leg, the biggest muscle in our body. So you're going to want to have your hand on the wall or a chair. You're going to take the crook of the cane and hook it around your ankle and let your knee drop and push your hips forward. If you find that this is not enough of a stretch for you, then what you can do is go ahead. By the way, don't ever do this on a soft mat because it does make balance much more difficult. But you're going to walk your cane up. As you can see, balance is not easy on a soft, squishy mat. All right? Now, if you want to challenge your balance, you can take your hand off the wall or the chair and just stand there. Now we're going to lower it down, unhook it from our leg. I'm going to have Bob turn around the other way. He's going to do the other leg. So now he's going to push his hips forward while bringing this back a little to deepen the stretch here, and if necessary, walk it up just a little bit more. And now he's going to lower it down slowly. If you find yourself starting to fall while doing this stretch, release the cane. Do not try and hold on to the cane thinking in some magical way it's going to help you maintain balance. I know this sounds intuitive, sounds like, well, no duh. Unfortunately, I've seen too many times where the person starts to fall and they don't think to let go of the cane. It's now time to practice our front kick, which helps our balance, but also has self-defense uses. What we're going to do is the leg that's on the same side as the cane, the lead side, is the leg we're going to kick with. We're going to bring the knee up and just snap it out. But today, we're going to focus on doing it relaxed. Okay? We're not going to worry about power. We're not even going to worry about speed. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring the knee up and let the leg just whip out there. Just up and out. Point the toes, up and out. Just up and out. Nice and relaxed. Now, again, Bob is going to do this while I kind of walk around and I do some talking and point out some elements. So, as he comes up, he is using the cane for balance. All right? He's snapping the foot out there, and he's pointing his toes towards you, the audience, right now. All right? He's not pointing the toes up towards the ceiling. He wants them towards the audience. Now, here's why. Because when we're on the street, we're in shoes. We don't walk around barefoot that often. And so, if I try and curl my toes back, like they talk about in most martial arts schools, then what happens is, I can't because I'm wearing shoes. The shoes resist it. Well, the shoes also add protection around our toes. So we're able to use the shoe as part of our weapon. Now he's going to change legs, and he's going to do the same thing. Now he's going to find that one leg may be better than the other. That's normal, that's natural. Do not fret. You just keep practicing with the leg that is not your best side, and you turn it into your best side. Okay? But he still brings the knee up, still snaps it out nice and relaxed, still tries to point the toes at the camera. He's going to do a couple more times, one more time, and now he's going to shake it out and relax. You're going to find this is a great practice for your balance, helps your lower abdominals and your quads, the front of your legs. In this episode, we're now going to work on strike angles 7 through 10. We're going to have Bob hit Bob, just like in episode 7. Now, strike angles 7 through 10 form an X. So if you imagine you're cutting down, but you can only make it halfway, so you have to come and finish this side, and then cut down again, and up. So we have 7, 8, 9, and 10. So now I'm going to have Bob demonstrate, as I, of course, pontificate. We're going to hit strike angle 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, and keep going. So now what he's going to do, right now what you're seeing is he's doing a lot of arm action, a lot of trying to use the arms. But we're going to have him add his hips into it so that the hips are bringing it down and the arm is actually just along for the ride. You're going to see an increase in power. Then we're going to have him add the snap of the fingers. And you see an even greater increase in power.
You okay?
And you see he just lost his tip. No tip for Bob. I do want to warn you, these exercises are difficult to do while laughing. Now I'm going to have Bob change hands. And we are not going to do any poke sets with this cane today. Bob seems to be enjoying beating up Bob. Alright, and we're going to have to do it a couple more times, and then we're going to let Bob take a break.
I'm enjoying
And
this.
Break. So, those are strike angles 7 through 10. Practice them at home. If you have access to a body opponent bag, a Bob, then by all means, practice on the Bob. Now we're going to review and learn the poke set. So what's going to happen is I'm going to basically pretend like the bad guy's rushing me, bring the cane up, I'm going to step back, and then I'm going to thrust my cane. Now, I'm actually going to take a moment also to show you how they really film fight scenes in a movie. Okay, ready? So the bad guy comes, rushes, I step back, and I poke! Ah! All right, one more time. Let's see that again. Step back and oh! All right. Now I'm going to let Bob come up and have his turn at it. Okay. So, and you notice though, okay, before he changed his grip, he was kind of a little wobbly, but after he brought it down to the ready grip, he was much more stable in his thrust. Now you notice also he's keeping his hand up to protect himself, and that's great. That's a great habit to be in. He steps away, puts his foot down, and then thrusts. Okay? Now to get more power in his thrust, what he's going to do with this hand is he's actually going to, after he puts his foot down, he's going to turn the hips more. Okay? Not overturn them, but just enough to snap the arm out there. And then keep his blocking hand up in front of his chest. Okay? And so from here, remember, one side oftentimes feels more natural and stronger at an action than the other side. Part of what we need to do is take those thoughts that we have about it and just step back and let it be. All right, go ahead and shake it out. And sorry about hitting you in the jaw there, Bob. We're now going to move on to practicing a defensive move, the two-handed overhead block. So I'm going to be bringing the cane up in front of me as I'm stepping back and then bracing it with my second hand. All right? So the idea is the bad guy's, either swinging something down at my head and I'm coming up and I'm blocking. Now, one of the key things to also note when you're practicing this at home, you want to shove, push, because it adds more power and force if you train that in to resist the energy that your opponent is sending at you. So Bob's going to demonstrate. He brings it up and he pushes. Okay? So he has it rise in front of his body and push. Now, the reason why you step back with this is because if your timing is off for the block and you don't step back, you're going to get hit in the head. All right? But if your timing is off and you move back, you buy yourself one, more time, but two, then you also make it so that they'll potentially miss because the target itself has stepped away, has moved away from its original point. Now change sides. Okay? Now the reason you're bracing with the other hand is because you're creating a second fort. Remember, in sword fighting terms, and the cane is the modern sword, the bottom half of the shaft of the cane is the fort, the top half is the foible. By having both hands on it, you create two forts, and so even somebody who weighs 100 pounds will have the strength to stop an attack from somebody who, say, weighs 200 pounds. All right? So go ahead and shake it out. So we're going to conclude this episode with combining two of the moves that we learned today. The two-hand overhead block with strike angle number 7. So we're hitting the collarbone. All right? So the attack's coming at our head. We block, and we take them out. We defend, we finish it. All right? So 1, 2. 1, 2. Remember to look at your opponent. Now we're going to change sides. Okay? So again, it's step back, strike. Step back, strike. Step back, strike. For this kind of action, you want to practice following through. Okay? And then when you're done, shake it out, relax, and enjoy the rest of your day. Today's episode's metaphor is around cognitive diffusion. Remember, that's when we separate ourselves from our thoughts and our feelings, and we put that space in between us and them. Now, take a moment and imagine, you've seen a parade, right? We've all seen a parade at some time or another. Okay? Now imagine you're watching a parade go by. And in the parade you have lots of bands and floats and all these people walking by. However, you don't step out and join the parade. You just watch it go by. Even though maybe you might have the urge to want to run out there, you don't. Well, the parade is like our thoughts. The parade is going to keep on streaming on by, and parades are often long. Okay, and our thoughts can be long. We can have lots of thoughts, lots of feelings, lots of emotions. And we don't have to engage them. We can just watch them. We can be aware of them. We can acknowledge them. But they don't have to hook us in. And so, it's like in our exercises today. When you do the exercises, different things come to your mind. It's normal. It's the way our brain works. Maybe thoughts about something you should have done already, something you have to do, thoughts about the exercises themselves. The thing is we take a look at those thoughts and we ask, are they moving us in the direction we want our lives to go? Just like with the parade, right? If the parade isn't heading in the direction we want to go, do we follow the parade? Or do we just watch it go by and then go the direction that we want to go? And so now, off of this 8th episode, I give you a new challenge, a new homework assignment. Take a moment each day when those negative thoughts come up, the self-doubt, the self-criticism, when they come up, don't fight them. Just step back and observe them like they're a parade. And ask yourself, are they going the direction that I want my life to go? And then just watch them go by. I'd like to take a moment to thank Mr. Dallas and Chief Master Candidate Von Schmeling for letting me film my episodes and host my class on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays at 1 o'clock at their Victory Martial Arts location. I would also like to ask you all to like the Facebook page for I Can Do and email me or through Facebook, let me know what you like about the show and what I can do to improve it. I'm always looking to make this show better. With your help, we can actually maybe help more people out there. I can do!